Stick around if you want to see the full FTMO journey that I've gone through to get full max allocation. We're going to go through all the challenges of all the analysis, all the challenges I've failed, passed, all payouts, and find out a total of how much I've made of FTMO over the last couple of years. FTMO are a really, really good firm. I mean, I've been with them for a long time, and to start with, they've got a 4.8 Trustpilot, they've got a 4.7 on Prop Firm Match, which is from verified funded traded reviews. We can see all the rules here going to the left-hand side. If you do want to figure out anything to do with FTMO, I recommend looking on here first. It saves you going through all the FAQs on the page of FTMO, and you can do this for any prop firm. And if you are looking for any prop firm to give a go, I recommend going on to Prop Firm Match. They break down things so well. Follow the steps in the description to join my Discord through Prop Firm Match. Let's get into this one. This is where my prop firm journey started. 2023. I went for FTMO to start with. This is back when you had to trade within 30 days on phase 1, 60 days in phase 2. So you're on a time constraint. If you made profit before the end of the duration of the challenge, you were able to get a free retry. So this is something that they were offering that other prop firms weren't. I went for a £70,000 challenge at the time, and to be honest, I thought I could have hacked it and was trying to be profitable, but I wasn't at the time, and I learned quickly that I got a reset and then I went for another challenge. So this was the first one. I was trading pound yen at the time, and really it was just not looking the best. It seemed to only make profit on a Friday there. I went full time back in 2023 when I took this challenge, and I was so confident that I could pass it, even though I had no proof in the live market over a sustained period that I was profitable. Some reason just thought, and like many prop firm traders, I've been there, made the same mistakes. This one was the 4th of April, going to a week later, tackling a new challenge because I got a free reset on phase 1. Went into about 1.5% profit, and then again went up a little bit, and then just had sustained drawdown, lost all my account within a month. Again, I didn't actually overtrade or revenge trade. This is the thing. I stuck to my plan, and I've been very good at that for a long time. At this point, I realised I wasn't ready, and this is where I was trading pound yen again. I was still trying to be full time, and then I realised that was a challenge that I blew, and it was 500 quid. At this stage in my trading, I just kind of realised, you know what? I'm not ready. In regards to prop firms, this is where I truly believe I am the most transparent YouTube trader that shows you everything, because I've shown you every account I've taken in the last year, every win, every loss, every payout. At this stage, I believed that I wasn't ready. So what did I do? I didn't buy another account. And this is how good my journey's been with FTMO, because it proves if you go away, you put back in the work for another year, year and a half, you go, I'm not ready for this yet. Until I know I'm ready and I can hack it, I'm just not going to bother. And I didn't waste any more money with FTMO. That was the final straw of me blowing a challenge, and it was my first challenge I ever took with a prop firm. Reset on the first one, the second phase 1, blew it. Knew I wasn't ready. So I don't just say to you guys when you're going through your prop firm journey, once you fail your first challenge, stop trading and go back to the drawing board. I actually did that. I didn't just tell you it. I didn't just start going and blowing 10 more accounts. I actually did this, and this is the difference, and this is why I'm transparent, because I practice what I preach. I've gone through the rounds of losing for so many years, and you've got to think, I started trading in 2018, so this is already nearly 5 years into my trading journey, and I'm still blowing accounts. People don't want to hear this though, do they? They don't want to hear the struggle, but that's the truth of what I had to go through. That was a lesson I realised, so I didn't blow any more money, and especially with prop firms, I was trading a live account, I will say, I'd admit, I was trading a live account, I was losing on it at this time, but I wasn't losing that much, and from this period to when I started trading prop firms again, I didn't really lose that much in the live market. I was very sensible with my risk. I really realised I wasn't ready. And really less than a month after this, I went back into a job, because that's the moment I realised I need to go back to work. I need to focus on the trading. So that's the moment for me. And that was the pivotal moment in my FTMO journey. Come back a year later. So a year later, I've built up some funds from working. I've been able to modify the way I trade. I completely scrapped trading pound yen. I went to EU and GU using DXY as a confluence, and I went for a 100k challenge, and this is the next one I went for. And you can see from this point I had a 50% win rate. I didn't go into drawdown this account at all, so imagine how good that is. This took a couple of weeks to pass. It was fluky how I come into this trading strategy, and I started this strategy as a new strategy, and it just happened to be in the winning streak in the best time of the year, and passes within a few weeks in phase 1, and I can't really explain how good that felt. I went back on my previous videos and I was saying how I'm going to go back and trade prop firms again. I'm going to pass and get 100k funding within the next month, and I did. And you can go back and watch it. Yeah, from this I just had a really good win streak. You can just see it went up. Very, very nice. So that was the first phase. So first phase was passed on this challenge. And I'm going to go through all the phase ones first, because this was the first one. The second one here, I actually started in June 2024. So what did I do? I want to show you the progression, not from phase 1 to phase 2, but phase 1 to phase 1, because you can see here, as soon as I had this and I passed this, I passed phase 1. So I'm in a phase 2 on FTMO. I decided to go for another phase 1 and buy it and go again. And with that being said, the reason why I did that is because I had confidence in what I was doing and I was stacking my prop firms. If you're going to go for one challenge at a time, get it through and over the line, you're going to spend a very long time. Because especially with the approach that I was taking, I wasn't taking the approach of rushing prop firms. I was taking the approach of going slow and steady. When you go slow and steady, you have to then go up and push the prop firms to a higher level. So I wanted to take my time. I didn't want to rush. But at the same time, to not have to feel like I'm rushing, I purchased many prop firms at the same time, being in challenges at the same time, stacking from one going to phase 2 to the next one going into phase 1. Then I'd get funded. Then I'd go for a new prop firm. So I was doing it that way. That way, even though I wasn't caring about how long it took to get funded, I was always staggering accounts. And that for me worked so well in the end, looking back. So yeah, I purchased that account. And then look at this account. When 1% into profit, went into 6.5% drawdown. So I actually did go through a drawdown streak in the summer of 2024. And that was tough. And this phase 1, you can see there, took me 5 months just to even get out of the phase 1. But I did pass it, and as soon as I went back into profit, I never went back into drawdown. That's the second 100k. So now, at this point, I've passed 2 phase 1s at a time. One with a 50% win rate, one with a 37.5% win rate. One that I nearly blew, so I managed to get out of drawdown there. It took 5 months, yeah, but it took a lot of confidence for me to come out of drawdown, and I learned so much from that, and I felt so much better about getting through drawdown, and that's what that challenge taught me in phase 1. Finally, we've got this one here. So you can see that one, 26th of November, that phase 1 got passed, and I decided over the Christmas holiday, when they do a discount, they had a 15% discount on this. I decided to give this a go on the new year. So I actually waited through December. I didn't trade the second half of December, started a new challenge in January, and I went for it. So my win rate on this one was 42.2, and it was a 200k. So at this point, I'm trying to get max allocated. I'll show you how the phase 2's got integrated into that in a minute. This took 5 months, nearly 5 months, or no, 6 months. Yeah, it's nearly 6 months to pass phase 1. So you can imagine that that's a very long time. People don't want to wait this long. What haven't I done though? Since that 2023 loss, I haven't blew any phase 1s ever since that point. And I'll prove to you I haven't. It's not me showing you the different accounts. I'll show you in a minute I haven't. Going down there, 5% drawdown straight away in the account. Then I was up nearly 7% or 6.5% up, went back into 2.5% drawdown and then passed the account. This is proof, and this is what a good equity curve looks like, by the way. If I come off the back of a winning streak and then went into drawdown here at the start and then went back up and then went back down and went back up, that's just normal. You shouldn't be looking at this and worrying about where this went. It's annoying at the time when you want to pass, but again there, look, between the 3 accounts, I've got a 50, 37, so the average is probably around 42, 43% win rate, which is my actual win rate in the live market on average. And we can see there that took 5 months, nearly 6 months to get past phase 1. Do you guys want to wait that long? Do you guys want to blow 10 challenges before you pass one in a week? You see what I'm saying? Like, you need to take your time. There's no rush. They're all the phase 1s, and that's really the phase 1s wrapped up. Let's go on to the phase 2s. So these are the phase 1s, and I can show you, look, retry, fail, passed. So they're the 5 that I've taken, and they're only 5 that I've taken. I've paid for 4 challenges, and I've passed 3 phase 1s. Going into phase 2, you can tell I've got 3 accounts going into phase 2. These are the only 3 accounts I've taken. I've passed all 3 phase 2s on FTMO over the period of, the last year. Let's go into all 3 of these then. This is the first one, and then this is the second one, and this is the third one. So you've got to realise now, at this time, I started this in the 24th of June. this is when I started another phase one. So that second phase one that I started is going into the same time as me going into this one on phase two. I went into a little bit of drawdown, and then I was in profit about 2%, and I actually nearly went 6% down on phase two. That's tough as well, going 6% down, because now it feels like you've got something to lose. When you start going into drawdown, you've actually got phase one that you've passed that you could just have wasted. And then yeah, went from minus 5% to passing the challenge, literally within 2 trades. That took me 2.5 months to pass. And I didn't really have a good win rate either. I had a really bad win rate, but I had really good R trades. That gave me the win, and that passed me through. How do you deal going from being up 2% to being down nearly 6%, 8% difference? Well, you trust your strategy and you do what you need to do. And again, you can see, like, you can look at analytics, but it doesn't really matter, because the strategy I had, I knew I trusted it and I was profitable with it. And that's really it. And that's when that ended on the 10th of September. And this was the phase two that I took before the end of the year. And it actually only took me 1.5 months to pass. I went into a little bit of drawdown, 1.5%. I had a few winners. And I love phase twos. I think they're so much easier than phase ones. I'm still yet in my prop firm journey to fail a phase two. I always pass phase two for some reason, and there's probably a bit of time I will fail a phase two, but for the minute, I have just been lucky and passed every single phase two I've taken, and often not really gone much into drawdown. So that second one there, you can see I passed it on the 10th of January. I went into this year with 100k in funding, and now I've got 600k. This January gave me 2 challenges passed, my 5ers and this FTMO. So I had a second FTMO and I had a 5ers. That got me 300k funding at the start of this year. And that was the second one I passed. And you can see that I passed that one, and I actually waited to pass that one before I started the third account, the 200k one, before I started this account. I started out on the 14th of January, was it? So I made sure I had the 200k in funding before I went for the second phase 1 200k. Then the phase 2 200k really was nice. Only took me 3 weeks, less than 3 trading weeks. I literally took 1 L. Or no, I took 2 L's, and then I just won like 2 trades in a row with good R. 25% win rate again. That second account was 33% win rate. You can show the power of R there, to be honest. And yeah, again, just pass these fairly quickly, and that was literally how I managed to pass all 3 verifications to get myself max allocated in the end. So that's the phases of me going through the challenges, right? And that's an interesting perspective, because I don't think anyone on the prop firm YouTube has shown you everything like that. That's the proof in the pudding there that I've managed to do that. But what does it mean? Because it doesn't mean anything if you don't get payouts, because you can get funded, but that's not where you actually make results. First of all, I'm going to show you, if you look at the billing of what I've put into this, you obviously get refunds on your first payout, and you can see that I'm still yet to be refunded on this 200k because I am currently in drawdown, and I passed this account in end of June, and ever since July I've been in drawdown. So I'm still waiting on this payout. So overall, I'm down from putting into challenges. This one didn't get refunded in this one. So I'm probably looking at about 1.2k. I'm down in pounds, $1,500, inputting into my prop firm that I've not got back. Obviously, I can't recoup that one, but this one, when I get my first payout, I'll get this refund. So really, my outgoings have been maybe £470, which is very good. And this is why, as well, the difference between me and one of your favourite YouTubers is these guys will blow maybe 5 or 7 prop firm challenges just to pass 1 or 2. And they know the payouts they get are big, and they make back more than they lose. But that's not the sustainable way that everyone that I preach to should be traded. You need to be taking it slow. You need to fail as little as possible, because also failing, it can knock your confidence. If you fail too many times, you will start to doubt your strategy. But if you take your time, and I'm risking between, sometimes in this FTMO, I've risked between 2.5% in phase 1 to 1.5% in phase 1, and I've risked between 1 and 1.5% in phase 2. So I have been on higher risk, and I've still not managed to blow it. And that's what happens when you're selective with the trades that you take as well. So I've obviously lost about 1.2 at the minute from putting it in, and then the payouts. Certificates coming in here. We're looking at all the payouts that I've got. I've only had 8k payouts because I haven't actually received any payouts from the second 200k, my max allocation certificates here. So this is the proof in the pudding that I've done what I've done. And I've had quite a few payouts. If we go to the first few payouts I had here, and this is something I also want to show. The whole point of trading prop firms is to prove you can get payouts first, no matter how small they are. Treat them as you've done well and you've stuck to your rules and you've been disciplined. Over the next coming months, you'll find that you're gradually going to get bigger payouts. $200, $300. So all three, they're getting bigger. That one's bigger. This one here was a bit smaller. And then we had another small one. And then we had one big one so far. But that's on 200k. And if I had 400k allocation at this time, it'd have been a $10,000 payout. And that's the last one I've had. So I've actually not had that many payouts. But you've got to remember, I've only been trading these firms for a year. And I've only been allocated full allocation since less than 2 months ago. And I'm just waiting on what we're doing here. So I've had about 8.7k. If I was to put that into pounds, let's keep it in dollars. 8.7k in payouts. I've lost 1.2k. So I'm up about 7,000. I'd say about $7,500 I've made on FTMO. Considering I'm max allocated, traders don't want to believe that that's how little I've made. But it is the truth. And I don't know how many more payouts I will get through FTMO. I don't know if I'll eventually end up blowing prop firms. I will never sit there and say I'll never ever blow a prop firm account, whether that be a challenge or a funded, because I truly don't know what trading has in store. But what I do know is that as long as I manage my risk and I keep my risk low, I be patient. That's the biggest thing. Be patient. I know I'll come out on top eventually. But I've already made enough profit from FTMO, so even if things didn't go well, and let's say I blew all my FTMO 400k allocation, I can just go and buy two 200k challenges with the 7,500 that I've still got left. So I still have a buffer of being able to go for more challenges. Yeah, it might take me some months to pass them again, but you see the whole idea of being in net profit. At the minute, I have been in drawdown on my FTMO funded accounts. This is the account I'm due a refund on if I get back into getting a payout. This one here, I'm risking double. So I'm risking 1% on this and I'm risking 0.5% on this. I trade pound yen, I don't trade pound yen. I trade GU and EU, and I've decided on FTMO I only trade GU. That being said, I've only really experienced a couple of trades of drawdown in the last 2 months. I think I've lost 3 trades. So I'm down about 3R on both of these. So one big winner will get me payouts. The reason why I risk 1%, and that's a very high amount for a funded account, is because my biggest drawdown streak over my backtesting on GU is 3. So the max drawdown realistically I can go in at any given time would be 3. And I have 10. And I have 20 on the small account. That's the way I'm currently playing it. I haven't merged my 2 accounts because I don't want to have all my eggs in one basket. I want to potentially have different payout dates. I want to be able to play with the 2 accounts as much as I can and see what the difference in percentages of risk take me, and see where my risk tolerance is at, and whether I change that in the future is yet to be seen. And that's really the full breakdown of my FTMO journey. So I'm sitting here now with about $7,500 profit. I have 200k funded accounts, and the upside I can make. I am looking to get 6 figures in profit with FTMO eventually, but I don't really care how long that takes. The knowing that I've got the accounts, I don't have to go through more challenges at the minute, is very nice. I'm a swing trader that takes maybe 2 to 4 trades per pair per month. So the good months are going to come in, and then whether that be 3 or 4 good months of the year, I'll make a profit. And then even if there's 7 or 8 other months I don't make a profit or break even, the profitable months are so much bigger than the losing months. So that's my strategy to keep funding. And I hope you guys enjoyed that. It's a really different breakdown there and a raw truth of trading prop firms. And if you are in drawdown and failing these challenges, realise you've got some work to put in, because until you put in that work, you will not be profitable and you won't pass these challenges and keep them. I've been funded with FTMO now for the best part of 13 months. So 13 months I've been funded with them. And it's not a quick fix. You're not just going to get 100k funding and get $10,000 worth of payouts in the first month. You don't need to make any money on it. That's my mindset. Is they're there to be made money when the mindset has to be different though. Once you start getting funded with these, thinking you're going to make 10k in a month on a 100k account or 150k account, it's not sustainable and realistic. I aim for small and steady gains, and that's what the best traders in the world do. They don't care about home runs. They just care about in a long period, 6 months to a year, do they make a profit? Do they have an edge? As long as they can say yes, they just keep trading that. There's no reason to try and full port your accounts. Just because you've got funding does not mean you're going to make money. And if you do try and make money quicker, you will just end up blowing the accounts. So yeah, I'm at this point where I've been funded for over a year. I've not blown any accounts on the funded that I've taken. I've had a few challenges over my time, but lucky enough, since the new strategy, FTMO has just been profitable, not failed any challenges, and testament to my risk management. And really, I believe anyone can do this as long as they stick to what they know and they trust it and they don't deviate. You will do well in prop firms. So see you in the next one. Take care. Peace out.